Welcome to this tutorial. In the previous lessons, we built our events application with Gridbox 0. We created the item structure, added custom fields, designed the item layout, and organized the item submission page. Now it's time for the final step, designing the page that displays all of our events. In this lesson, we'll work with the category list layout. We'll design the page layout, customize the category list plugin. We'll also add Google Maps, search, and content filters, allowing visitors to quickly find events based on their interests. Before you start editing the category list layout, make sure your application contains at least 4 event items. Ideally, create 6 items so you can clearly see how the layout, filters, and pagination work while editing. To open the Category List Layout Editor, click the Settings icon for your application in the Gridbox Administrator panel and select Category List Layout. As mentioned earlier, this page will include search, filters, and an event calendar, so we'll use a 2-column layout. The left column will contain all the filtering tools, while the right column will display the list of events. Let's begin by adding a new 2-column row. Open the row settings and set the top margin to 40 pixels. Next, adjust the column widths using drag and drop. Finally, move the Category List plugin into the right column. Now, let's start customizing the display of our event list. First, let's remove the default top spacing from the Category List plugin. Open the context menu and select Reset Style. Now, open the plugin settings. When we worked with the blog application, we used the card layout to display posts. This time, we'll use the list layout so you can become familiar with a different presentation style. In the Layout option, select List. For pagination, choose Infinite Scrolling. With infinite scrolling, additional events are loaded automatically as visitors scroll down the page, creating a smooth and uninterrupted browsing experience. Next, open the Info settings and disable the publication date. Now go to the Fields settings. Here we can choose which custom fields should be displayed for each event. Enable event date, event time, and ticket price. Notice that you can change the order of the fields at any time using drag and drop. Now let's move on to the design settings. Set the image height to 250 pixels and the border radius to 12 pixels. Next, open the button settings and change the button label to View More. The Category List plugin also includes a wide range of additional design options, allowing you to customize every part of the layout, including the appearance of your custom fields. Finally, open the Layout tab and set the padding to 20 pixels on all sides. Our category list is now complete, and we can move on to adding search functionality. Before we add the search plugin, let's prepare the left column. Open the column settings and set the gap to 20 pixels. This column will contain 3 plugins, and using the gap option automatically creates consistent spacing between them, so there's no need to add margins to each plugin individually. Now let's add the search functionality. Add a new plugin and search for Search. Select the Search plugin. In the plugin settings, choose our Events application in the Apps option. This tells the search plugin to search only within our Events application. Next, in the Display Search Results In option, select Category List Layout. This will display search results directly on the current page instead of redirecting users to the default search results page. Finally, enable Live Search. With Live Search enabled, matching results are displayed instantly as users type into the search field. That's all we need to configure. Save the page and let's see how it works. Enter Music Festival into the search field. As you can see, only one matching event is displayed. Now try searching for Festival. This time, multiple events are displayed because they all contain the word festival in their description. Our search is now fully functional and provides a fast, seamless search experience. Content filters allow visitors to quickly narrow down the list of events by filtering content based on your custom fields. For example, users can display only concerts, find events within a specific date range, or filter events by ticket price, all without reloading the page. Let's add content filters. Add a new plugin, search for Content Filters, and select it from the list. The plugin has now been added. Let's take a look at its settings. Our Events application is already selected, so there's nothing to change here. The State option lets you choose whether the filters are expanded or collapsed. With expanded, all filter options are visible by default. With collapsed, they remain hidden until the user expands them. Since our filter panel contains only a few fields, we'll keep it expanded. Next, open the Field settings. Here, you can choose which fields should be available for filtering. The Reviews filter is available by default. Since our Events application doesn't use reviews, we'll disable it. We'll keep the remaining filters enabled because they are all relevant to our events. As always, you can change the order of the filters using drag and drop. Now let's move to the Design tab. Here, you can customize the appearance of the labels, values, and background. The default styling already fits our layout well, so we'll leave these settings unchanged. Finally, open the Layout tab. As with other Gridbox plugins, you'll find the standard layout options here. Set the padding to 20 pixels on all sides. Then, enable the borders. Set the border radius to 12 pixels, border width to 1 pixel, and the Our Content filters are now ready. Let's save the page and see them in action on the front end. Let's select a date range, for example from July 13 to July 19. As you can see, only the events scheduled within those dates are displayed. Notice that the active filters are clearly shown, making it easy for users to see which criteria are currently applied. Now let's move on to the next plugin, Event Calendar. The Event Calendar automatically displays events based on the event date field, providing a clear and intuitive way for visitors to browse events by date. As you may remember, when designing our item layout, we chose the event date field instead of the standard date field. That's why our events will be displayed in the event calendar. By the way, date range filtering in content filters is also available thanks to the event date field. Add a new plugin, search for Event Calendar, and select it from the list. The calendar is now displayed. Our Events application is already selected, so there's nothing to change here. Next, we have the Type option. Here, you can choose whether the calendar should display events from categories or tags. You can also limit the calendar to specific categories or tags, allowing you to display only the events you want. The Week Start option lets you choose whether the calendar week starts on Sunday or Monday. We'll skip the View options for now. We'll cover them a bit later. Let's move to the Design tab. Here, you can customize the calendar typography for month, week, and day views. However, our calendar already fits well into the layout, so we don't need to change anything here. Now open the Layout tab. As with the content filters, we'll apply a 20-pixel padding, then enable the borders, set the border radius to 12 pixels, border width to 1 pixel. Let's save the page and see the calendar in action on the front end. When you click on a date, the events are displayed in a pop-up dialog. On July 8th, we have 2 events. Now let's try July 15th, where we have 1 event. As you can notice, event fields are not displayed inside the calendar itself at the moment. This is exactly where the View options come into play. They control how event information is displayed inside the pop-up dialog. Let's go back to the editor. Now we'll disable the button display, and in the field settings, we'll enable our custom fields. Save the page, and let's take a look at the result on the front end. Now our event fields are displayed inside the pop-up dialog. As you can see, each event shows the key information we added. This gives users a much clearer overview of each event directly from the calendar view, without needing to open the full event page. The event calendar is now fully configured, and we're ready to move on to our final plugin for today, displaying events on a map. The Google Maps Places plugin allows you to display your events on a map. This works because in our event item, we are using the Google Maps field to store the location data. Add a new plugin. Search for Google Maps Places and select it from the list. Let's move to the plugin settings. Our events application is already selected, so everything is set correctly. The Google Maps Places plugin, just like the event calendar, displays items inside a pop-up. These view options control what information is shown inside that modal. Just like we did for the event calendar, let's enable our custom fields in the field settings. I'll also change the map theme to silver. This gives the map a cleaner and more modern look, making it fit better with the overall design of our events application. Let's move to the layout options. Set the top margin to 20 pixels and the border radius to 12 pixels. The map is now properly styled and fits nicely into the overall layout of the page, with a consistent spacing and smooth rounded corners. Now, save the page, and let's take a look at the result on the front end. As you can see, the map now displays markers for our events. Let's click on one of the markers, and the event details open in a pop-up modal form. This creates a very intuitive experience for users, allowing them to explore events directly on the map. And that's it. Our category list layout is complete. We've built a fully functional events page where everything works together: the list view, search, filters, event calendar, and Google Maps. All of these features are powered by the same data structure we created earlier with custom fields, which shows how flexible Gridbox Zero really is. And this is exactly what makes Gridbox so powerful. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next tutorial.